Now let's talk about Eritrea. If you were listening in the last hour, you would have heard an interview with David. That's not his real name. I want to protect his identity and indeed his family. Now he says he was forced to work as a teacher in Eritrea after having his compulsory military training. Well, according to a new report, thousands of other young people in Eritrea are forced into military training each year, even before they finish their education. Human Rights Watch, which investigates human rights abuses around the world, says that all final year secondary students are sent to a military camp called SAWA. Now then, they have to go either into the army, teaching or other government jobs where they stay indefinitely. Many young Eritreans have been using the hashtag #EndHighSchoolInSAWA on Twitter, calling for the camp to be closed. Let's hear a little bit of David's story.
I didn't want to be a teacher. I always want to continue education plus do other career, but that's what you get. You're not allowed to do anything else except the one that you are assigned for. If you leave or if you are unwilling to do what you are assigned for, then you are imprisoned. I had a scholarship. They denied me to continue my education. So the only way to continue was to leave the country. I have a family there. I have a wife and a child. But that is the life of Eritrea.
So that's a little bit of David's story, not his real name. We're protecting his identity for the sake of his family. But I've also been speaking to Selam, a young woman who attended SAWA as well and was able to flee Eritrea.
SAWA is a place, it's a really horrible place. It's like a desert and it's really hot. It's like sometimes it's 46, 47 degrees centigrade. It's not suitable for education, for school, for students and for the underages.
And so how old were you when you were sent there?
I was 17.
And so give us an idea of what you would do on a normal day in that military camp.
We wake up at 5 o'clock and then we go to the cafeteria to eat our breakfast and also the food, it's disgusting. Just we eat one bread and a tea in the morning. After breakfast, we will go to the school. Like with the line, you will not have to out the line. If you out the line when you go to school, and you will have the punish.
So how would they punish you?
Sometimes they ask us to lay down in the ground and to be like sit up, and sometimes you will be held in. They ask you don't move, and you will be held in the sun maybe for 1 hour, half an hour till you fall down because of the sun.
And how long were you at SAWA for?
I was in SAWA for 1 year. After that, if you get the point, you will go to the college. If you don't get the point, you will be back to SAWA, or you will go to the worst place of Eritrea like Wi'a or Gahtilai or other places.
So once you'd gone to this military camp, there was no way to leave the military. You were then there forever.
There is no way. Just you have to leave the Eritrea. You have to leave, like all the Eritrean doing.
So how did you get out?
When I was in SAWA, I was really suffered, and then I was sick. Each and every day I was sick. The whole year I was sick in SAWA because of the weather and because of the military, because of everything. And my father doesn't allow me to back to SAWA, and after that, I leave Eritrea.
So I understand that your father and your mother were both in the army, and it was your father who said no, he didn't want to see you have that life, and so you managed to escape from the country.
Yeah, when I was in SAWA, after 10 days, my father came to visit me to SAWA because he was there. And when he see me, he was really angry. He suffered from many things for independence. And when Eritrea get independence, also his daughter was suffering because of the regime, the dictator.
So you managed to escape from Eritrea. You went to Sudan and Libya and then on to Europe.
Yes.
How difficult was it for you to make that journey?
It's really difficult. Sometimes I don't want to remember that because it's really hard. It takes for me like 1 month to get Sudan. And then after that, I go to Libya through the Sahara. And then after that, I was in Libya for 3 months. And then after that, we start our journey to cross the sea. I made it also to Italy. And then now I was living in the Netherlands.
So how long did the whole journey take you?
It takes like 2 years. I leave my family in Eritrea. My father also died. I'm the oldest from my family, and my sister and my little brother is with me in Netherlands.
So they both managed to escape?
Yes.
And what about your mum?
My mom now, she was with my little sister. They are now still in Eritrea. She also have a problem in her leg because of the war. And it's hard for her to live, but I work hard to help her.
And do you worry about your 12-year-old sister and that she may have to go to SAWA?
Yes. If it's continue like this, maybe after 5 or 6 years, she will go to SAWA.
Do you think that will change? Do you think the government will be forced to change?
Now we try to force the government to change this, but we don't get any answer from the government. Many journalists, they write open letters to the president, but he don't answer.
Are you pleased that this report has been released by Human Rights Watch so that people around the world can know the realities of life for people in Eritrea?
Yeah, I hope all the world will feel our pain, will understand our pain also.
And what about your life now? What do you do now?
I'm living good now. I go to school and I work. I work in no hospital, but for the old people place, and then I help the old peoples. Also, I work in Amsterdam because I love Amsterdam. I was live in near Amsterdam, and then in Amsterdam I make many friends, many Eritrean, and I work also in one club in Amsterdam in the weekend.
That must be such a change to your life when you've just told us about what you had to put up with in SAWA.
Yeah. Yes. When people ask me where you from, I say I'm from East Africa, and then I will tell them a little bit from my story, and then all they are shocked.
Well, that is Salam's story. She was speaking to me a little bit earlier on. Well, we also got this audio message in, and I should warn you that some of the details are disturbing.
Hey, my name is Hewitt. I grew up in Germany, but I have plenty of friends and family members who had to go to military high school and serve national service for years. And the stories I heard from them are horrible beyond our imaginations, since these things are done to young people, to very young people who are supposed to be actually nurtured by family. One sad experience I have directly is my cousin, who was 17 when he went to high school, to military high school. And when he was 18, his body was returned dead to my family. We never found out the cause of his death, and my family had just to accept the death just the way it was and could not ask any questions.
Well, we haven't been able to put that particular case to the Eritrean government, but it's one story of many about compulsory military training.